What's good, everyone? This is Micro here, and today I'm giving you another Marvel Rivals character guide. Today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite Marvel characters of all time, and his name is Magneto. He's considered as a Vanguard tank in Marvel Rivals, but he's also a fairly good DPS character for being a tank class. How this guy is played out, he's very similar to Sigma from Overwatch 1 and 2, if you have ever played any of those games in the past. And the basic summary of his skill set is Magneto is a really good disruptive tank, whereas his abilities is good at countering many of the enemy team's abilities, basic fire, and even their ultimates. So he has basic shield to protect your squishy allies if they're dive bombing for their own ultimates against the enemy line, or he can throw out his own shield, kind of like Reinhardt from Overwatch, where he can protect your teammates from enemy projectiles or even ultimates to a certain degree. He's because he has a fairly big HP pool for being a tank, higher in the 600s. He's not fairly squishy as well for being a Vanguard tank. So you only have to pay attention a little bit on his health management because he does not have any maneuverable abilities other than floating. But that is not considered a vast maneuverability to get you out of dodge when you are in trouble. Therefore, he is the character that if you're not wanting to be very fast, he will be your go-to guy. To start things off, we're going to be talking about Magneto's abilities and his ultimate and exactly what they do. His basic ability is called Iron Volley, which is basically he shoots out, metal blades or magnetic orbs forward to deal damage to the enemy team. It has a little bit of a splash damage similar to Sigma from Overwatch and Overwatch 2. So if you don't get to hit the enemy directly, that's okay. You can take out low HP enemy through the splash damage. However, if you do hit him directly, he does a lot more. His ultimate is called Meteor M, which basically he takes a few seconds, he flies up into the air, similar to Sigma. He summons a giant metallic meteor that comes crashing down towards the enemy team. What is so good about this ultimate ability, based off of what was confirmed to be not a myth, is that certain projectiles that's fired against Magneto when he's casting his Meteor M is also absorbed into the meteor, therefore he doesn't take damage, such as metallic bullets from Punisher, for an example. His first ability is called Metallic Curtain, and he creates a magnetic field around him to form a metallic curtain and blocks all flying projectiles. This is basically a basic tank shield that you see on Reinhardt or even Doctor Strange, where he can block certain projectiles. The shield itself has a certain HP threshold, and once the HP drops to 0, you have to wait for your shield to recharge in order to use it again. His next ability is called Metal Bulwark, where he conjures a metal shield around a chosen ally or himself, and the damage taken from the shield will transform into magnetic rings that you will eventually see on Magneto's back. And the magnetic rings are what needed for him to use his next ability, and that I'll get to in a little bit. But depending on how many magnetic rings Magneto has, determines how powerful his next ability will be. His next ability is called the Mag Cannon. It's an ability where he does a basic, damage projectile, but the potency of the Mag Cannon is determined by how much magnetic rings you have. On top of that, if he has full rings before he casts the Mag Cannon, not only does it do more damage, but at full stacks, he's able to knock back enemies. So at full stacks, this is basically the giant rock throw that Sigma uses in Overwatch 1 and 2, where he chucks out a giant boulder at somebody and it knocks them back with good damage as that. So this is definitely really good if you want to stop someone from either diving at you or diving at your fellow allies. You can also use the Mag Cannon to disrupt certain ultimates if the enemy is not immune to CC control. But overall, the Mag Cannon is just a really good DPS potential if you, one, don't have a Scarlet Witch on your team to bust out the magnetic sword, or if someone's trying to retreat, you can easily knock them back and then pick them off with either your Iron Volley, or your allies can pick them off as well before they are able to retreat and die. So that's basically it for Magneto's abilities. But the next section I want to talk about is the basic map layout of how you should position yourself as Magneto, either during team fights or how you just naturally position yourself around certain chokeholds or even control points, depending on what map you are playing. Similar to many of the other tanks in Marvel Rivals, Magneto is one of those characters that you should be playing up front. Even though he is very slow and he has no maneuver capability, he is a character that you just position him in the front lines of your teammates so that he can, one, protect himself and your DPS and your supports behind you with his shielding abilities or even the bubble shields. Even on top of that, if you have a Spider-Man or a Hulk, regardless who's on your team who is a dive bomber, DPS or a tank, you can quickly shield them before they go and jump into the enemy backline and start picking off the DPS and support enemies. And with your bubble, not only will you be able to catch them in time before they dive too far, but whatever damage that they take when they're in the enemy back lines, it will go towards your magnetic rings, which makes your magnetic cannon that much stronger when you do cast it, and you can knock back enemies that's in front of you as well. There's really not that much to explain about Magneto, simply because, one, you wouldn't want to play Magneto as a dive tank. He's also a character that you shouldn't position him in the mid or the back of the line, so therefore he's really just, you play Magneto, you get him to the front line, whether you're facing a chokehold point or you're playing certain control maps. You want to make sure that he is in front of the enemy's faces so that he can, pick off any squishies who are low on HP, while at the same time disrupting the enemy's projectiles with his shield or interrupting them when he casts his magnetic cannon to knock enemies back and stunning them a little bit. Or he can use his ultimate to create a massive AoE splash damage to either pick off any low health enemies or severely cripple the enemy team for your allies to come in for the kill. Those would be the strengths of Magneto. Now, talking about his weaknesses, there's really one major flaw with Magneto, is simply the fact that he doesn't have any maneuver capabilities. Therefore, you need to pay attention with your health bar. If you are getting too low on health, you need to retreat backwards from the front of your ally line to either the mid or the back so that your support characters can heal you. Or if you don't have any support characters around you, you need to retreat back to find a health pack so that you can regain your strength, recuperate, breathe, and then go back into the fray. Magneto is just one of those characters where he acts as a team leader, where you need to do a lot of communication, make sure everyone is centered around you so you can protect them and they can protect you. That is the essence of what Sigma and many great Sigma players do in Overwatch. Therefore, translating it to Marvel Rivals, that is what you need to do as well. And that's pretty much the gist of the basic map layout for playing Magneto in Marvel Rivals, regardless of what map you are playing in. Overall, Magneto is a really strong Vanguard that is hard to take down if you are playing against him. The lack of mobility does not make him a bad character, because he makes up for it with his amazing abilities, even his ultimate to not only disrupt the enemy's projectiles and their ultimates, but to also give great AoE splash damage to either cripple the enemy team to force them to retreat, or make it easier for you and your other teammates to pick off any stragglers that Magneto doesn't get to kill. If you made it to the end of this video, I definitely appreciate it if you leave a like and subscribe if you like this type of information. I definitely want to give new perspective of how you play these characters in Marvel Rivals. I know there are many other guides out there. That's why I wanted to give you a different perspective of how these characters are played. Therefore, it gives you some ideas of how you can play your favorite characters, when Marvel Rivals does drop. If you want to see a guide on a specific character, definitely let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can see more videos like this in the near future. This is Microtastrophe. I'll catch you guys later.
might. Someday.
Friends, gather around!
A shield. How quaint. Exactly as I expected.
Look up behind you!
Heads up, hostiles. You cannot hurt me. Maximum pulse! This is real power! Fear Magneto!
Friends, gather around!
Protection.
You're halfway there! Keep going!
By the eye of Agamotto!
For my crows!
Life and destiny must be preserved. They're on your tail.
Chin up! Almost there! Don't turn back now!
Your powers are mine!
Vehicle reached a checkpoint. Keep up the momentum.
You shall not be harmed.
Our enemies are here. Spider-Zero, you will reach the roof. That is my promise. Chin up.
Insignificant gnats.
You get a weapon! You get a weapon! You get a weapon!
Double KO! That's it! Don't let anything stand in your way! It's not how we do things in hell. Solar Return is almost ready.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man. Yeah, boy.
This is real firepower!
Good things come to those who wait.
Into the web of life and destiny.
By the eye of Agamotto! I am no longer in control!